Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Neremik. Welcome back to more of Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time we continued on with our investigations and Herlock Sholmes, and this time I think we should be able to move into the first class passageway. Host and I can pull some strings to get us out of here, which means 9th of January, 7:48 AM on the SS Buria first class cabin passageway. We're here. Whew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious than I thought it would be, and this is most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sentenced to be sold by the government. That's why he was being put in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there! That's another crewman keeping watch, and he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruto-san, you'll call a boy visiting your toy store for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please don't give me that pitying look. Okay, so I think, can we just, like, walk into this cabin? No, okay, my controller is trying to kill me here. Can I just, okay, ship protocols. Right, that's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise, every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailors to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruto-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. It's suspiciously blank, though. So I assume he's just going to tell me off if I try and talk to him. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer. That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask you something? You little third-class lady's maid. Oh. We seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Susato-san. I am not a sailor, my mother gave me this name. I am senior crewman, Biff Stroganoff. Okay, and that's the Y-bus, so nice to meet you. Phew. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Okay, weird lack of music. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area? Here we are in the finest part of Buria steamship, and for very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. This is why I am always guarding place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you? If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asugi's currently occupied? Ah! Susato-san, do you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Oh. I'm going to invite myself in. And it sounds like somebody is in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. And, ooh, okay, passenger in next door cabin. Secrecy. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asugi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Royalt is authentic Western German. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Royalt came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now and I've been in Kazma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's someone there. Well, presumably since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins. He must be very important. Is that right? That is not your business. Ooh, spicy. Alright, are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da. All time, so criminals like you cannot come in or get out. Ah, clever. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? I can't read Russian. I think I said het. Ah, Susato, did you understand that? It was clear. No. Ah, so that does mean yes. I saw nothing unusual, nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way. I said no. Sorry. Damn, okay, he's coming for me. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. So he probably did it. Probable. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Capitan. You must return to Capitan. I'm alright. Bocato second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on the top of the mountain, or as English say, when the pigs fly. Ah. You actually want something there. Is that a real saying? Anyway, yes, I will definitely leave when the pigs are flying. Right, now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Okay, so there's a few things I'm interested in. Investigating the door is probably useless, but the ship? This looks like a plan of the SS Burya. It shows each deck. Look! The Burya is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing in my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal just doesn't sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruto-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan. Yes, they're not vessel, but they're enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Huh. Interesting. Japan, I thought like all islands were just like, they went down very far and connected to the Earth's crust. Anyway, right, this is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Oh! Breaking and entering! Okay, okay. What is the number on that door? Say 8080. Alright, no answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Okay, well, there's a few more things I would like to have a cheeky little look at. Anyway, so mousetrap seems quite, you know, weird. A trap for catching mice. Yeah, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Please don't tell me he doesn't know what cheese is. Yes, I think that's what... Wow, I really am playing in the 19th century. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. By all means, just stick your hand in. You can't eat it now, Naruto-san. That trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But, I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a snack for you later. Okay, an alarm bell seems like... what would this be used for? Like when the ship's falling? Alright, what do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship. And brings the vessels to a complete stop. Oh, this, I have to see. What are you doing now, Understand? You mustn't touch it. This is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, it would be an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop, this ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside. Oh! I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes. I shan't be stopped. When the fists on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how can the doors can I expect to most your bed? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about the stress relief. Where did Sholmes come from? Did he just decide to waltz on me when the plot demanded? He knows. He knows. Who are you? A Western gentleman. That looks Russian to me. Well, we heard someone scream. Oh, that'd be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True. This old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? You get out, all of you. Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe. Yeah, that's me. You are. I'm the one and only, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I'm a great detective among detectives, one who adorns the cover of popular magazines, no less. And so I assure you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself in the wardrobe this time. So, might I be so bold to ask you to open that small travelling case? What? That was so stupid! How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? I'm not sure, I hit the white one. Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Travelling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. Oh my, did you just see that? Yes! The case is shook! We'll leave now, otherwise I will call the steward. So this is Casimir's neighbour, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Ooh, okay, so can we converse? We can, but I want to investigate first. You know. Anyway, all the books are tilted in here. Oh. Sholmes. Sholmes, I see you there. I see you there. Caught you. Well, what do you think you're doing? Ah! This isn't my cabin, guest out! Could we just have a quick look inside the travelling case, perhaps? No! Ah, what a pity. I think we're out of luck. I think you're right. There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott. Sholmes. Sholmes. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? Why does Renosuke sound like he's doing customer service this episode? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed, I was compelled to place our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time. That you would need to know my great powers of deduction into service. Oh! And it would seem the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on. For once. Just once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylet, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding his secret? Why, the truth, of course. Which should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he got so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh yes, please! Well then, what are you about to see may well astound you. For I'm about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Oh dear. I've been dreading this and half looking forward to this. Could this be more than a hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is a fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right, I'm Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on a first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh! I've made complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I've quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Royal, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. Well, what do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you're about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Oh. And number two, the most conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realise you have been discovered. Does it not? Ah. Oh, now I understand. I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes. That was a great deduction. Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What ineffable twaddle. Oh yes, I've read all about it countless times in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the colour is drained from Mr. Royal's face. It looks like somehow both Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right? How could you? How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So, do I coldly invite you upon a journey of logical discovery? Let us board the train of reasoning. But plainly, let us work through my deductions together. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1, conclusion. Old man's identity. Here we go. So, the dubious-looking Russian Mr. Roylet. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away that copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then is begged this: why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylet? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front-page article, which, it would appear, you have read also, Mr. Roylet. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you conclude, not fail to observate, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard you myself, you understand. Conclusion is a revolutionary on the run. Oh god, he's got another one. Right, topic 2, what I'm doing. Now, as my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people of propensities let their eyes astray, you see. Rah! And I assure you, these eyes speak so much more eloquently, and honestly, than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the futile of Gans falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that travelling case. It's time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation. A young lady, perhaps? One slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the travelling case? Dear me. We're not well suited to a life of crime, are we? You cooped into oil betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your futile glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your travelling case is equally found on the page of this newspaper. For there is another, most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page, renowned primera ballerina of the Norwich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlina. So the conclusion is that Sholmes. This concludes Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Elemensky. Oh. Susato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories involve Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Okay, excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions, would you mind? Not at all, go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah yes, I recall a discussion earlier, and at the time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina? Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly! You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old into that case, even if you pushed really... What do you do in your spare time, Ryunosuke? I don't suppose missing ballerina was a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her poking out from the case. Some years ago I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain lightness in their bodies. Vinegar.
For such a sad bunch, it would simply be to consult oneself into the confines of that small case.
Oh dear. You might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Holmes.
This whole thing is turning into a circus.
Mr. Naruto, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deduction just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut the heart after almost an instant. It's just, wherever he directs his attention and the logic seems a little... off.
Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Mr. Sato.
It's just one or two keywords in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some keywords in his deductions.
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we know what the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction.
Precisely the thoughts I was going through in my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times I wonder how anyone puts up with me.
It's not that funny.
Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry.
Take a moment to look at your wrists.
My wrists?
Where are your handcuffs? I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction.
I don't believe it!
Mr. Sholmes, you're marvel.
And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh, there he is. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Topical on Old Man's identity. Previous conclusion, revolutionary on the run. So, the dubious-looking Russian Mr. Roylott. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand.
Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement?
The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport.
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard?
I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though.
It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either.
Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong.
Let's try to switch a keyword there, Naruto-san. See if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard he intended to use those shears on. Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruto-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we can even use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott going to use those enormous shears for? Okay, so we get a 3D camera here, and, well, hang on a second. That's a bit sus.
Yes! You're on the verge of using those... Never mind. Ow. You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away that golden lock you sport.
Indeed. You have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose.
Such lush golden hair certainly doesn't befit an old man. Oh. You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair. Also very much in her youth. Oh, no! If only I'd managed to cut off my hair. No one had expected.
The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks?
Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Oh. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Well, that was a shock.
I had no idea the old man was really a woman in disguise, did you?
What? Why are you staring at me like that?
Yes, it was a surprise. Naruto-san, you're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry.
You look like you're in your elements as you dance around the room, deducing the facts of Mr. Sholmes.
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business, not strictly
Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of his deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now. Now that's true, given that Mr. Royalty is actually a woman. Exactly, he, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence to something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. So obviously, I think we're going to go on about the newspaper.
Yes!
Oh, I see. You're quite concentrating. You've identified exactly what I did originally. Oh yeah, so I have. Sorry. Well, I do understand, as invincible as I am. People do like to try, but you won't make a great detective like that. Not even a great detective assistant. Oh, an assistant? Alright, I'll think again. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I'm sorry I had to do it too. Mr. Roy isn't merciless revolutionary at all. No, he isn't even a mister. Under that disguise, he is a young woman. And I do feel like we have some evidence here that might reveal who she really is. Let's have a look through all the evidence we've gathered so far and see if we can find it. Well, this time I'm actually going to examine the news. Okay, did not need to find a Sukup instead. Article about revolutionary. Woo! Hello. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruto-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I, but look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She's very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you can enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know, I can't make any sense of it. Oh, I'm glad you noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Northern Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented, young Nicola Pavlina. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure. It must be an unbelievable sum of money. Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of Novich Ballet. It would seem that the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlina and the valuable tiara. They have requested international assistance at all ports of sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Haruno, though. Article about the ballerina has been entered into the court record. Well. Oh, so it's a separate thing. Well.
Yes!
If you ask me, it does seem quite relevant, doesn't it? Hello. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina. Okay, I'm not reading this for the 15th time. It would appear we are finally about to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of Novich Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nicola Pavlina. Ah! It was a really good disguise, in all fairness. You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nicola Pavlina. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Okay, new conclusion is a ballerina on the run. But that completely invalidates the second topic. Oh, okay, it's the remix. Let's go. Wrongdoing. Now, what's my second conclusion? You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing the most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlina. Taken unawares, people of prosperity to lend their eyes astray, you see. And I assure you the eye speaks so much more eloquently, and honestly, than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that travelling case. This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that travelling case as well. No, that's right. It seems she wants to abduct us all. In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? I'm gonna have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Naruto-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes? Stop it! Anyway, there must be something else in here that shows what this woman is up to. Okay, well, she's looking at something. Oh.
Yes!
Oh! That just clicked for me too. The proof of your crime is surely this tiara? Ah! I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Nova Beach Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara picture here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you've committed is theft. Oh, no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. I have no one, no family, no friends. I'm all alone and I need money. I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, Prussia. It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself? She must have been extremely lonely. Alright, I will tell you everything. There is no point in hiding it now. Come, let's not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this travelling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish to remain it closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavola? Oh, that's how you say it. My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Oh! Dear me. We're not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil that portrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the books on the shelf. Even Sholmes knew that one was awful. He's completely changed tack with this deduction now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing of the circumstances, don't you? Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open a case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true. But still, Miss Pavola certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. And there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it would be somewhere in the same area if that's why her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree, that's the only answer. Whatever she is in and inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Rules of passage? It's gotta be, hasn't it? I think so. Right, these are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Spurrier. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. There was exactly the same notice in our cabin too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules. Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment will be severe, Naruto-san. You'd probably be left adrift in the freezing cold ocean. Or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end. So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I? Yeah, that sounds like proof enough to me.
Yes!
Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the room wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move on of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova, inside your travelling case. It's the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rule of passage, a pet. Ah! Topic 2, wrongdoing. Corrected 2, possession of a prohibited animal. Solved. I know I flubbed the lines so hard on that, but I don't care, that was really fun to do. Deduction complete. Elementary. Okay. So, clearly you aren't who you said you are. No, I am not Grimsby Royless. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet's company's performance in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. The Buryu is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could you really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman, and you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet, to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That variable thinking of a bell? Why, another than this young lady, naturally. But more like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself so no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your travelling case? You were right. It's my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew. Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night. Yes, alright, I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruto, wasn't it something, Mr. Sholmes' great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible! Indeed, it is incredible. One more thing. Oh, yeah? What? Observe your wrists. My... your hands! Cuffed again. What? But how? Truth my word, I have restored your shackles. When and why? There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruto. I'm so sorry to say. It can't be helped at the moment. Can't it? Can it really not? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was. Well, luckily for you all, we're going to cover that next time. Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I know I flubbed a couple of the lines, so I'm sorry about that whole conundrum. But no, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe outside a bunch. And I think, with all said, all aside, till next time, my name has been Neremik, and I've flipped Swords Plenty by accident. And no, thanks for watching, and peace out.